You're welcome back. It's time for our phone-in segment where you get to have your say on our show this morning. So if you're just joining us, well, you just came in at the right time because we're about to start. Now, recall that the grid experienced multiple collapses in October, with the federal government promising a permanent solution to the ongoing issue. This development, which marks the 12th grid collapse in 2024, adds to the challenge that have long plagued Nigeria's power sector. According to reports from various distribution companies spanning the nation's 36 states, their feeders were rendered inactive, resulting in widespread blackouts across the country. Let's not forget we experienced over 3 going to 4 weeks of blackout in the northern part of Nigeria due to vandalism. We've experienced lots of issues regarding electricity and grid and power supply. It's been happening so frequently this year in particular that it's beginning to raise questions on what is really happening in the power sector. And definitely we're also seeing the impact on businesses and the economy. I vividly remember that period where there was blackouts in the north, and we saw stories on how ice was being sold at between 5,000 to 7,000, if not more, for something that used to be between 300 and 500 naira. Ice to cool your drinks. Now there is no way those people will get those ice and cool their drinks and sell it at the same price they would normally sell it. There's a ripple effect on the entire economy. We're dealing with fuel subsidy. People don't have the ability to fuel subsidy removal, rather. People don't have the ability to start buying fuel again to run their businesses because of the cost. And on the other hand, the consumers might not even have the purchasing power if you add the cost of using an alternative source of energy in running your business. So all of this put together, we want to know, this incessant grid collapse, how has it affected you? How has it impacted your life? Be it a business owner, be you someone who is in her household, and how it has affected the way you preserve food, buy in bulk, conserve money through the way you cook and store. Whatever it is you're doing, whether you've experienced it one way or another, probably in the hospital going to get treatment. We saw the case of the hospital in Ibadan where they experienced blackout due to the high cost of electricity bill that they couldn't afford. It was too expensive running it on that. We also saw that happen, and we saw how it impacted lives of patients in the hospital. So how has this impacted your life? Let's talk about the electricity sector, from the grid collapse to the hike in tariff to not being able to afford alternative sources of energy. What alternative sources of power have you been able to afford? Well, the phone lines are open, and the number would be displayed on your screen shortly, or the number is displayed on your screen at the moment. So do well to call us. Let us hear your thoughts on the topic of discussion. How has the recent grid collapse impacted your life? Tell us, how has this affected you one way or another? How has it affected your business? Now, we know that when it comes to business costs, SMEs and large industries spend billions annually on diesel and generators to compensate for the erratic grid supply. For instance, manufacturers report spending 40% of operating costs on energy. We had a medical director here who told us he spends at least 20 million naira on tariff, even with the epileptic power supply, and also on diesel, a lot more, just to keep the hospital running. That is a business owner, probably on a large scale. But let's take this call from our first caller this morning. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Okay, we lost the call. Well, do well to call us back. There are 2 numbers displayed on your screen. Call back on any of the numbers. Would love to hear your thoughts, and also send a message on WhatsApp, and would love to hear you. Take your messages here and we'll read them out. Now, how has this affected your daily life or your business? How much do you spend monthly on an alternative source of power or fuel due to this incessant grid collapse or electricity blackout? How much do you spend on fuel? Would you rather, keep your business hanging because of how much fuel costs, knowing full well that people will not want to pay the augmented price if you decide to use fuel? I know salons and some cafes I've been to will tell you that, sorry, I can't turn on my gen because if I want to bill you based on the fuel I'm putting in that gen for you to pay for the service I'm rendering, you wouldn't. so I can't turn on my gen. We'll just wait it out till when the light comes back. But for people who go ahead to, use their generators, how much do you spend on fuel? How do you augment the prices? And how do consumers react when you tell them the price due to the cost of fuel and the lack of electricity supply? We'd love to hear that from you. Now, what do you think the power sector really needs at this point in time? Let's take this call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning. My name is Ibrahim.
All right, Ibrahim, it's good to have you. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, the national grid has been collapsing for a while now. Why not we find an everlasting solution so it will stop? Because it's really annoying and not good at all.
So how is this affecting you as a person?
It's affecting everyone. It's affecting everyone, not just me.
Do you have a personal experience you'd want to share?
Not really, but it's really not good for us as a country for our national grid to be collapsing frequently.
All right. Thank you very much, Ibrahim, there for your thoughts. Your thoughts are well tailored in the right direction. Thank you for calling in. He has said that it is not good as a nation, though he has not experienced one personally or had any bad experience, but knowing that just being in blackout is not something anyone would want to experience. Being that the world has moved on and nations are looking for alternative source of power and less reliance on grid, Nigeria is still relying on one grid to service and feed 36 states. That's a lot. Let's take this call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good morning. Once again, Daybreak program.
Good morning.
Today, just the topic of today is sorry that you are asking you that you are the presenter. I'm sure the constant breakdown of electricity and national grid has affected you one way or the other.
True.
So what I would say is this, that very unfortunate that the Nigerian leaders, our Nigerian leaders, particularly this time around the president, from the minister of the man in charge,
power,
appointed by the president, his performance. People have been crying about the performance of this department, this agency.
Power, the Minister of Power.
Power. But it seems that it doesn't bother them because where they are living, everything is free, fuel is free, electricity usage is free. Even if electricity is not there, they have other means that all is being sponsored by the people's money. How can somebody, like I have a personal experience, just as somebody you have earlier said. I went to a saloon. They used to take the normal power. They used to take 1,015. But I went to buy. They say there's no power and that I should charge it. They wanted to charge me 2%. I have to turn back. Unfortunately, it's not as if they were battling me before the light went off. So this thing is very. I don't know. It's just because our leaders like this minister and other this thing, even if we talk, they'll tell you it's their turn. Just as it's the turn of tinubu to put everybody into this perpetual action now. They don't bother. Whatever comes out of it. If not, how can if you see the explanation sometimes given by this minister, it's very funny. It was very funny that you will see as if Nigeria doesn't have anything in their brain again. These people, when they are in leadership, they think that others have no brain or again. If not, excuse the man in charge of the national grid is giving. Is something. It's not something that anybody can take seriously. So if in my own opinion, except since the people majority of people want this man is not performing. His actual performance is maybe 5%. So I cannot say 5%.
All right. Okay. So what do you?
The leader who appoints him to do away with him and put somebody who is ready. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Hold on a bit now. What do you think can be done? Do we still have? Are you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm all right.
So we've spoken, you've given all the problems. What do you think could be the possible solution? And you didn't tell us your name.
I said Ahmed Baba from Australia.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So what do you think could be the possible solution at this point?
The possible solution is that somebody who is capable of doing that job, who is experienced, should be that man, the president tinubu. I don't say the other day. All this is gathering money for the next election. That man is not performing at all. They should put somebody who is experienced in that job.
All right.
And who will there are some people will tell that they will go and work with the power or the this to correct what is the fault. But this one only dish out comment that nobody that is not genuine at all. So the solution is that the president should look for somebody who is capable, who is experienced, not just a patronage because they have invested in the election or that is their colleagues. That's all. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your thoughts, and thank you so much for your opinion. Thank you for calling us this morning. He has said that, hands should be changed. Someone who has deep knowledge of the system should be put in. Someone who understands the power sector should be put in. So just maybe we might see a difference. And I also believe it's beyond someone who understands. It should also be someone who has the political will to work. There's a great difference. Let's take this call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good morning, ma'am. I'm calling from Police State to family with local government.
All right.
My name is Bello Shelijoke.
Bello. Did I get Bello right?
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am.
All right, go ahead with your thoughts.
Concern this issue of pre-COVID collapse. The issue is that after 1984, the population in Nigeria was up to 200 million that we are facing nowadays. That is one point. And the production of the electricity after that, compared with the previous population we have now is higher than then. And the existing value or the existing resources or the target that they will have then, there is no any improvement on it. It's one of the challenges I'm observing. If it is 50 or 50 megawatt or 50,000, depending on their measure, they are few there, that they were using to serve us after 1980 something. Compared with the population we are having now, the strength of that power, the strength of the power to supply the electricity to the current population is another issue. There is no any development on it. They are still on that existing former one. Instead of the way the population is increasing every day, they should try to improve upon it. If it is 5,000, okay, they should increase it to 10,000 so that it will be commensurate with the population we are having. That's one of the issues. And the peculiarity aspect of it, the people that are supposed to be in that area are not the ones handling the situation. The people with experience who can explain the situation, who can give the real issue that is happening in the electric sector, they are not there. Since they changed this, they privatized it. The real people that they were working before they privatized it, they removed those people and bring their own people. As a result of that, the competent people are not there. And meanwhile, the real people that are supposed to do the job are not there because the people came with their own different policies, and as a result of that, they could not do the real job. Rather, they are just doing the peripheral aspect of it. And meanwhile, they are not able to give us the real output that the electricity is supposed to do the masses. It's another issue. And with that, the investors, since you don't have a steady line, who will come and invest money and be losing money where you should produce, you cannot produce. This issue of electricity is something that our people abandon it. If the government can come into it, it will motivate the foreigners to come to this our country and partner with the country. It's another issue.
All right.
There should look for the competent people. What is really disturbing? What is really causing this frequent great collapse? They should let us know. The government should know it and they should fix it with immediate effect so that everything will be in order. That's my observation.
All right.
So that everybody will be doing business freely and will be enjoying the business, particularly all these local people that are able to use freezer. They prepare their products. Along the line, they will be affecting the NEPA. They will not be the NEPA. They will lose money. This will lose money. Talking with other big factory again. And the diesel is very high.
All right.
That's my own opinion.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Let us know what is even happening. And let's fix it.
Thank you so much for your submission. Yes, thank you for your submission this morning. Now,
thank you.
I love the fact that you're tilting towards transparency and change of hands and updating. You know, it's a general thing, a full body of work that needs to be done in this sector. You know, they're saying, oh, the systems are quite old. Like he said, you can't be using the same generation that was being done in the 1980s to still maintain that for a country that has doubled in population. Technology is taking over. A lot of people are demanding more electricity for businesses to run. And one of the perks of an enabling environment for businesses to survive is electricity. If there are constant electricity, I really don't believe the issue of wanting to create manufacturing companies will be a problem, because light is not a problem. But when manufacturers are thinking of how to generate electricity or alternative sources of electricity for themselves to manufacture products to run their businesses, that is where the problem starts. And he also spoke about, you know, they've spoken that the generation is not a problem. The problem is, you know, the transmission, being that there's a certain losses within that the transmission can't transmit the amount being generated by the gencos. They can't transmit that particular quantity. Hence, we still have power being lost. So yes, it still boils down to the outdated machines and equipments that are being used. What is being done? We see billions being invested in this sector. We see privatization that has taken place. What is going on? Nigerians are asking questions, and it's like the sector is beginning to look like the petroleum sector, whereas the more you look, the less you see, but there is still a slight bit of chaos going on in there. But the phone lines are open. We'll still want to hear your thoughts on the show this morning. How has the frequent power grid impacted your life as a Nigerian? How has the lack of power supply affected your businesses and your livelihood? You know, we'd want to hear from you. What exactly is going on? How is it affecting you? You know, cost alternative. How much have you spent on generating your own power, be it through solar, be it through using fuel or gas power generator? You know, how much have you spent so far in generating your electricity, and how is this affecting you as a person or your business? What do you think the electricity sector needs? Is this privatization still a good path, or they should look somewhere else? And what lessons should Nigeria adopt from other countries? These are the broad line of questions we would love to get from you. So do well to call in and let us hear your thoughts this morning. The phone lines are still open and the numbers are displayed on your screen, and we'd love to hear what it is you have to say. We also have our WhatsApp messages that, you know, we'd also want to take WhatsApp messages to also hear your thoughts as well. We want to know what it is you have to say via WhatsApp. So do well to send us messages on WhatsApp. Well, I want to believe we have a message from Ahmad S. Bima Inagi in Niger State. Said frequent grid collapse is affecting us in Nigeria at large. The President Minister of Power's performance is very poor. It's unfortunate seeing us going through this grid collapse every time. Thank you, Ahmad, there for your thoughts. Thank you for your thoughts there. And let's take this call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is Daybreak in Port Harcourt.
Thank you very much, calling us all the way from Port Harcourt, Mr. DK. It's good to have you. Now go ahead with your thoughts.
Honestly, this morning on this grid collapse, I want to say that the people that are governing us should allow the poor to breathe. Because How can we be living in a country as if nobody is governing it? The grid collapse. Is it a technological issue? Why can't we bring the good technologists, the good engineers, the good people that can think outside the box? How much are we spending in the country? And we have built the country. I'm not going to hate anybody before God and man. Why are we spending such money in grid collapse every time, and solutions have not been found? Who is helping whom? Who is involved? Who is the promoters of this laughing stock that they have put Nigeria to be? How can we be suffering people? In Port Harcourt, here I live. Sometimes you don't see light for 2 days. Sometimes you don't see it at all. And nobody don't even ask anybody. If you use your hands to buy meter that somebody will use to collect money for himself. Nobody will talk that. The electrical regulation will choose it. I'm not be asking this private people that bought this thing. But my own idea, what I'm thinking, is these people, they might have been involved. Because if they are really nice and legislating good, they will call these people to attention, call the attention of these people and tell them, well, see what you are doing. It's not good. Who is suffering who? They should remove their legs on our nose, let the poor preach. We are not preaching again. There's no business that is going on. Petroleum product, who? Anything bad. This is which kind of people, because they have generators. The generators even start on their own if there is no electricity. So they don't care for the poor. They don't care for whoever that's concerned. And they should living, blasting sarin all over the country. What are they doing? They should now look into this matter. Call engineers. If we can, our own cannot do it. Call people outside the country. People that have survived with this kind of problem to come and tell us, how are you surviving? You cannot be dancing like a cloud of music. When the country is collapsing, when there is no food, when there is no electricity, when there is no good road, where are we going from this country? They should now tell us the truth, not to tell us that the economy is improving. Improving when that we don't feel it. Is it good? In fact, I'm very, very angry with this situation. Not me, because some of the Nigerians have turned to corporate beggars. If you go to the road, like the people along this road, you will see people that have been feeding before, but they're asking you, boss, can I get 2,000 naira? These are the people that can give, to make things to go for them, where they can fend for themselves. Why? Tell me where they will not be crying. Tell me where they will not be crying in the country. It is not good. If they should sit up, if they want to govern, or they tell us that are governing for their families, their cronies, their wives and children that stop studying abroad and doing everything at will. It's not going to be happening like that. Let God come and help us. Because that's the only place, that's the only hope we have right now. To them, I don't think that it's hope coming out of that place. God bless you, my sister.
God bless you, Mr. DK. It's quite, I felt your pain through how you expressed yourself on the call this morning. And we know and understand that is the pain of every Nigerian. When it comes to the expectations they had from people they put in power to serve them. And it's quite disheartening. Truth be told, politicians are preparing for 2027. But are Nigerians preparing for 2027? Because it's time to open your eyes and pick the leaders that would, it's not just the presidency, it spreads across, down to governors, down to local government chairmen. You have the right to vote. Good morning. Yes, please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set and tell us your name and where you're calling from? Good morning.
This is Bishop Emmanuel calling from Delta State.
Bishop Emmanuel, where in Delta are you calling from?
I'm coming from Warri City.
Warri, all right. What's the electricity situation like in Warri? Tell us. What's your thoughts on our topic and what is it like having lights in Warri?
We don't see lights. The new generator regular buildings. If they bring the light, which means they want to bring bills for those that are not having to pay meter. So what we really need to do, two things we will do for Nigeria to go forward. One, we have to pray for Nigeria. Pray for the leaders, because the people that are leading us are people that have no direction. We have no direction that God should give us. And number two, during elections, we should not sell our vote. If not, what will make Nigeria a country of 60-something years to suffer buy electricity. Now for 1 year, 12 times the electricity has collapsed. In short, may God help Nigeria. Our fathers that died yesterday will wake up. They will not want to stay in Nigeria for 1 hour. So we need to pray for Nigeria. There is no life. People are suffering here. We need to pray for the leaders. That God should give us a leaders that have direction. More countries that are nearby, they are having life even extra. So we need to pray for Nigeria. Foreign will not solve the problem. When we do an election, we should not sell our debt. And I know God will help us out.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Bishop. God will help us. Says heaven help those who help themselves. So God has given you the will, and you have the power to vote these people in or out. It's like the same broken record year in, year out. You know, administration in, administration out. Oh, they are rigging the elections. We don't trust the electoral process. If Nigerians come out to vote en masse. All right. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, Lilian. My name is Shetima Kojima, calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shetima. At this point, I believe all you have to say is just good morning, Lilian, and I'll be able to pick the voice from there. Thank you for joining us this morning.
You're welcome, Lilian.
Go ahead.
About the Greek collapse. Honestly speaking, Greek will continue to collapsing because the government is not serious to fix the Greeks. And the reason is simple. They made this Greek to become second Ajakuta, to be having a right, I can say, or way to loot the government treasury. We have no government, rather we have rulers who are leading the government. That is why they don't have the country at the heart. All petty business has been collapsed due to lack of no frequent power supply. We thank God here in Borno, in Maiduguri, we have a focused governor who planted gas plant for us. So we are hoping and we are praying to other governors to copy from Governor Borno, let them plant their own power supply. That's the only way that this country can move. But only rely at the center. The center, they are not ready to fix anything. They are not ready. You see, how can a country be in 21st century, a country like Nigeria, with all what we have, with all what God bless for us, but power will become a problem for us. Look at our leaders, our past leaders in the 80s and early 90s. When I was in secondary school, I can remember before a light will go up, they have to announce in the television and the radios.
Oh,
that we have problem, that we will fix it in so time to so time. And before time lapse, the power has restored back. What's wrong with them now? At that time, even the money that Nigeria having is not up to this what Nigeria is earning today, but it's going to the private pockets. So we as I thank God, as you have been electing Nigerians to be eye opener on the day of that election. The day of judgment is coming, 2027. Let us shine our eyes. Let us know who and who supposed to lead us. We should do away with money politics. This is the impact, small impact of money politics.
Absolutely.
They give you Maggi, they give you sugar. What is Maggi? You say you are right for Maggi and small rice, one mudu, half mudu. There is not only water, but this is a war against the looters and the innocent citizen. And by God's willing, we are going to emerge victorious. I'm telling Nigerians, inshallah, one day Nigeria will rise up.
Nigeria will rise up.
Nigeria will rise up. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Shetima, for always.
You're welcome, Lina.
Thank you so much. You know, taking us back to those days when power was nothing. I experienced that in Benin, a very small village. They wanted to take, and they announced it for over 24 hours that they were going to take the lights. And they did. It didn't even last. The time frame at which they said the light was going to go off was when it went off for. So at this point, Nigerians, it's beyond just coming out to lament. Take the powers in your hands. The same way politicians are preparing for elections. Nigerians start preparing for the election too. It's 2027. Oh, it's 2.5 years a year or 1.5 year away. Prepare. Start looking at them. Pick out the sectors where you want certain people to be in. Let campaigns be issue-based. Throw issue-based questions. Like Shatima once said, don't come play loud music and be dancing. We don't want to see your dancing skills. We want to see your performance skills. Talk to us based on issues. That is what every Nigerian, even at the grassroots level, should be looking out for. And we'll look forward to that day where we'll have the right leaders in power who will put the interests of the people at heart, and we won't be having issues like this, which will be in the past, something that would refer, oh, those days, but it's better now. We're looking forward to that day.